full ride to go to college and do what you love is almost every high school athlete's dream. For some football players who are punters and kickers, those dreams have allegedly become harder to achieve if you are from the United States in the last 10 years.
Punting has dropped over, 54.3%.
They're competing against oftentimes 25-year-old Australians with 6, 7, 8 years of Australian Football League experience.
As we reported last month, allegations surfaced 8 months ago suggesting that some of the Australians playing college football in the U.S. were not only ineligible for their scholarships, but also their student visas, violating NCAA regulations.
These students that we've investigated have attended university full-time, and we don't believe that that was disclosed.
With the help of an Australian private investigation company called IFW, we were able to scrutinize the academic history of several Australian punters who have received scholarships in the United States.
If there's been misrepresentation of their educational standards, then this is not only a violation of the NCAA eligibility rules, but it's also a fraud.
And just a few days ago, our investigation caught the attention of Homeland Security and ICE. A federal source in D.C. has informed us that ICE is investigating the allegations. Each year, more than 100,000 student visas are issued, and they are verified extensively by the U.S. federal government. According to the NCAA's website, nearly 25,000 international student athletes compete in the NCAA sports from countries around the globe. In their website in 2022, Division I of football shows that there were 105 Australian players. In our previous report, we spoke to an American coach who asked for anonymity. He says he has seen firsthand how some Australian players get around eligibility issues to play college football.
Apparently, he had started working with Pro Kick, and these coaches that I was talking to were under the impression that he had 4 years to play. He had never been to college. And I said, that's not what, when I was recruiting him, he had 3 years to play too.
Mike McCabe, a well-known special teams coach and owner of one-on-one kicking, voiced his concerns last month over the impact of Pro Kick's recruitment on the U.S. market. We're specifically talking about Pro Kick. Are you familiar with some of them and what's been going on?
Yes, I think the whole country pretty much knows in our industry and kicking what's going on.
We reached out several times to Pro Kick Australia and received a response after our second story aired, directing us to contact their attorney. However, their attorneys have not responded to multiple interview requests. We also asked federal legislators about the allegations of possible student visa fraud, and here's what they had to say.
Well, I know Mr. Homan is prioritizing people with criminal convictions. As far as others, I'm sure there'll be other cases farther down the priority list, but those will be the top two priorities as far as I understand.
It doesn't matter if it's a sports athlete or where it might be. We got to make sure that when people turn in their applications, that they're not fraudulent. This is why we need to look at reallocation of resources in Homeland, where it's not only the border security.
We got to make sure that the visa process is very stringent, is very vetted, right? For the safety, bottom line, for the safety of Americans. We have to know who's in our country, why they're here, and if they do find out that their information is fraudulent or incorrect, then they need to be deported immediately.
After our first story aired, we were contacted not only by players from Australia, but also by young athletes right here in the United States with their own stories of getting stripped from their scholarships for older Australian players who may not have the classes or the grades to play. We are looking into the new allegations. Here in Texas, the issue has drawn the attention of State Senator Brandon Creighton and State Representative Drew Darby, who have now filed a bill to limit non-U.S. citizens to be able to only get 25% of the athletic scholarships given out to state colleges. Jami Virgen, Fox SA.